Well, I had I think I had two verses to go with what you was bringing out. One is in Joel and the other one is in Amos. Let me grab
Bring
the
them
one
out.
in Joel. I'm gonna
Yeah,
grab the
let's
one in
go.
Joel first. We're gonna go to Job chapter 3.
Job 3.
Well, not Joel,
Oh, Joel.
not Osteen. Ah, gotcha. Kind of, yeah. So Job 3:3, and now I read this. It's the book of Job, chapter 3, verse 3. They have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Let's go let me back on what you was bringing out earlier about the cup of Esau. No, this is what they've done us. They would exchange, and it's factual stuff. You can even historically check this out. They would give one of our sons for whores, man. Women.
Mhm.
They look at this as currency. They exchange this for whatever they wanted, and give our girls for wine so they they can get drunk. This is a literal thing that happened to our people. And also though it's not in this verse right here, when they would go hunting, they use our babies as alligator bait. You know, that's not a person that you can rehabilitate. That is indeed a people, a nation of people that are just crooked, just what they were created to be, crooked. They can't be no more, no less than that. That's just like straight cut, just like that, right? The other one I got, other precept I got is out of Amos, and this verse also, when you look back into this, and I see if I can end up finding that story. If I don't get it this time, I bring it another day. Um, when they would get our young girls, we know about the mandingos and stuff like that. You know, they would take the biggest, strongest man, and they would put the young girls of breeding age and this little pen with them. You know, and they would breed more of us. They turn us like into cattle, and then they would sell us that way too in exchange for things, right?
Yep, they were those slaves were brought to different plantations to have sex with the women,
Okay.
s- so that they can have children to hopefully hoping that they bear men so that they could be as big as the brother that had sex, because they did it, they wanted more slaves, so they pinned the slave. They made the slave, right, that man, have sex, of course, with his wife, his daughter, his mother,
Hmm.
his aunt, you name it. They There was no regard for the brother, for the
Okay.
family. They just wanted more slaves.
Okay.
And then they put bags over their head,
Oh
and
yeah.
so that they couldn't see and know that they were sleeping with their mother or sleeping with their daughter,
Okay.
just so that the potential to um, have sex was there,
Oh
because it was
yeah.
hard for them to even get them to do it, if they were both able to see.
Okay. This deceptive, man.
Mm.
That also bred the behavior. You know, nowadays, sometimes, we have this, and a lot of, brothers, my people have this mentality where we just sleep around with different women without bearing the responsibility. And the Edomites, they understand we're not supposed to be doing that stuff. So everything they had us do from slavery to today, it was all a great plan to set up so we can stay away from keeping the commandments. They purposely set it up so we can't keep them, or they for us not to even reflect on it. That's why the church, the Christian church, is set up and designed to stay away from keeping the commandments. It's the same thing, and it's primarily directed at us because the other nations know this word is not for them, don't belong to them. The Most High is not dealing with them; He's dealing with us, and they know the longer that we stay out the way and we stay not keeping the commandments, and also the Most High did say we were going to discontinue from our heritage, so that was a big way to do it But also it's prophesied we're going to come back to remember who we are, and we're going to be seeking to keep the commandments of the Most High. So all of those things you were just mentioning, those abominable things like that, it goes clearly against our culture, our standards. So for them to do things like that, they gotta be crafty about it. Like I said, they seek crafty counsel against us. They literally do have think tanks, constant think tanks, to come up with ways to keep us oppressed and keep us down. And they use us more and more to do it to ourselves, you know. And in some states and stuff, and I'm pretty sure this it's bigger than some places more than others. They would favor one gang or one neighborhood, and they know they would give them stuff, or they would put them over another one. Like they might give one area drugs and allow them to sell it, and then it makes the other area that's trying to do that, envy and jealous. So it makes them go to war. They reap the benefits. People die. People go to jail. They collect the drugs back. They get paid for us being in the prison system. Bam, they still make money. They redistribute and package it up and do it all again, which is evil as hell, right? Um, Let me pull the one to Amos. I kind of ranting too much on that one, but pull the one to Amos. It's Amos 9. I'll just grab it from here. But it's a lot of ways, and our people don't even consider these things, man. They want to be friendly and buddy buddy and all of this stuff, and they don't even understand. Of course, if you go into a place and you take it over and you in full control of it, ain't no need for you to walk around with a mean mug on your face. Of course, you can walk around with your head high smiling. You got it. Um, this is a book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. It says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord YaHaWah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord." Just go back in the early, which he was bringing out Moses. The Most High going to repay them. They know it. Those at least they know it. They know what's coming. So what they trying to do, they on a scramble. Just like I say, the devil know he has such a short time. Just paraphrasing. So the mission is to take as many of us as possible to get that 2/3 numbers up. But of course they want to do more. They want to completely utterly destroy us. They don't want none of us to have a chance at anything. So we got to stay focused. And it's going to be these devices out here and different type of antics and tactics and stuff to trip us up all the time. So we got to remember, we got to get up and keep pushing, right? The Most High sees everything. Like we know the Most High's eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Seeing the thoughts and the ways of man. So for those of us that's not serious, we gotta get serious. Those of us that really not seeking the Father, we gotta start seeking the Most High, and we got to do it aggressively. We got to take the same energy, as I always like to say, the same energy we put into things that are this world, and we got to multiply that to the max when it comes to the Most High. The Most High knows if your heart is in this kingdom, ain't no faking it, right? So the Most High's eyes are upon this sinful kingdom. He sees everything, nothing hidden from the Father. All right, that was all I had with this. It's something else. But I can't remember the scripture that I was thinking of. If it come back, I'll bring it back up later. Anybody got anything else? Q, you got anything up? Rob, you got something?
Rocket Brothers, no, no. I mean, there's a lot of verses we can go to, but some to
Come,
know.
come. Throw them out there.
Um,
You got any more? Throw them out there. Huh?
um, Pretty much the repeats of what he said. Go to
Come.
Wisdom of Solomon 2, verses 10 through 12.
Let's see.
You said 10 through 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Kind of got it.
And again, this is the wicked speaking. This is Esau speaking. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. So he didn't care. Men, women, children. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be worth nothing. They use their laws to oppress us, to keep us down. And just their strength by being in rulership is what they're using to oppress the righteous man, right? Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. This is their turn right now. They have to oppress the righteous man. Like you said, they have to keep us in sin so that they can remain in power, because we're not of their turn, as he says. And he is clean, contrary to our doings. They know the things they're doing are dirty. They know that righteous man, those Israelites that they're oppressing, are clean. They're admitting it here. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, right? They don't know anything about God's laws. Everything they do is against it. And objecteth to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. Man, they know what's coming to them. They just, like you say, they're just trying to slow it down, trying to take as many with them as they can,
Con,
because the judgment is already written. I'll stop with that one.
con. That's a great point to bring out too, because and this another thing. I was kind of saying this earlier when it comes to the Christian church and it comes to them not teaching the laws of the Most High, not even focusing on the importance of it. They don't even look at what the laws of the Most High say, you know. And I've asked a bunch of people in the Christian church this one little thing: if the laws of God are done away with, and then you say stuff like a man, shouldn't, rape a woman, and in this country you do that, and it's evil, any way you try to sum it up or look at it, it's evil. And then they'll say, well, yeah, that's wrong, and I'm like, okay, well, it's a law in the Bible that says a man cannot force himself on a woman. If she cries out, then that man is, to get his ass put to death. You know, a man steals something. It's a penalty for that. A man bears false witness. There's a penalty for that. All of these are laws of God. Certain things we can't eat, laws of God. Why? It's for our benefit, for our health. All laws of God. Certain things we're not supposed to be celebrating because it don't have nothing to do with the Most High. All it is evil and wickedness, paying homage to these different deities, these different idols. Laws in the Bible teaches we're not supposed to do those things. So if there are no laws in the Bible we're supposed to keep, and the laws done away with, how do we prove ourselves to the Father? You can't just say having faith. You gotta have the faith, and you gotta keep the commandments, and then you have to have the faith in YaHaWah that he's the Messiah. He's going to speak on your behalf and deliver you, and to help deliver you. We can't just be blindly walking around as if everything is all good and it's all cool. It's one big old party, you know. And I've heard people make the argument that you can do whatever you want. You're gonna make you make it into heaven. How it's all always summed up to when you die you go to heaven. Nah, no, you in hopes want to make it to the kingdom of heaven. And now this is a stage of heaven, not for us, of course, for our enemies, and this is hell for hell for us. So we want to keep in mind always when the Most High says to do something, we want to be on point in doing it. We don't want to get thrown off, sideways or anything, and reflecting, not reflecting on what the Most High is saying and doing our own thing. Because then when we do our own thing, it's like pushing the Most High out of the way, saying, I got it, Lord. I don't need you to tell me anything. You know, and that's somebody you don't want to disrespect. You don't want to be on the Most High's bad side. Not at all. Somebody that can command demon spirits to just taunt you, and there's nothing you can do. You can't touch those spirits. You can't shoot them. You know, you can't burn them. You can't do nothing to them. You can't do anything to relieve that type of torment. Only the Most High can pull them away from you. And that's that. So we gotta remember, man. Keep the faith of the Most High, YaHaWah, and YaHaWah through keeping the commandments. But if anybody's got anything else, definitely bring it out. Um, I'm still trying to
Nobody
think of
has
the other
anything.
scripture.
Maybe two more
Come,
verses, right?
go ahead.
This is my favorite sweatshirt. Can we get Isaiah 47:6?
Come.
Because Moses was talking about the day of the Lord. You know,
Come.
that cup that they have to receive double of, that he's going to make that that whore, that what we know as America, who everyone's had and shared those fornications with, right?
Come.
And the Most High says, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Esau, he gave us into your hand. Other nations, he gave us into your hand. Thou, you guys, didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Right? So the Most High is telling us, and them, this is a warning for them. First off, for us, going against the Most High. So because of that, he sent them against us, right? So let's get James 2:13. I like the part about no mercy. That's what stands out to me. They showed us no mercy. The young, the old, women, children, it didn't matter. Aged, it didn't matter to them. Again, this Edomites and other nations, these are those heathens we've been talking about all the time. And this is the Most High saying what's going to happen on that day of judgment. For he shall have judgment without mercy, like you showed no mercy. The Most High says when he sends Christ, for he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. We're going to be thankful for the mercy that we're going to receive in that day. But those other nations, you Edomite leaders, you're going to receive your judgment without mercy, like you've shown his children. I close.
They're going to be pleading in those days. Have mercy, come on, please. Nope.
Ain't gonna be no mercy.
Promise I'll do better. Let's write a treaty.
Oh man. Hey,
I got
I
a
can see
treaty.
that happening too. I can see them doing that.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah. I got a treaty for you. It's that middle finger.
Let's go ahead and treat these fields, these cotton fields, and
Yeah,
we gonna
hey, we could
plant my
fix this
trees
so
and
we could all work together.
yeah. I'm the landlord now. Rent is due. Up, you $1
Yep.
short. Getting your ass out of here. Evicted.
Yep. Yep.
Man. God. I got another one too, in Isaiah, and I got one in Jeremiah. I'm gonna get the one in Isaiah first. Isaiah 3. Like you say, showing no mercy, man. That's it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
It is
they would expect you to do it, but they will not do that
no,
whatsoever.
not
But
even
they
an
pray on our
apology.
goodness. Slocky, go ahead, brother.
No, Slocky. No, I get what you're saying. I was just saying, not even an apology. Oh, it wasn't me. It was my ancestors. Not it had nothing to do with
Uh-uh.
that. I wasn't even born yet. Okay.
I don't. That doesn't mean I have to make it right, though. Well, yeah, and that day you're gonna want to make it right.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Come. This is from the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 15. It says, "What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces?" It says my people, not all people. And I've been kind of like hearing when I speak to certain people about the Bible, especially ones in the still stuck in the Christian church, when it says my people, God referring to people as his people, they just think everything is related to somebody becoming or being a Christian. No, it's talking about his chosen, the Israelites.
We are all God's people.
Yeah, and that's how they try to put it. Oh, we're all children of God. We all bleed red on the inside.
We're all human beings, the
All
human
human
race.
beings. Yeah,
Everybody is a child of God.
God. Yeah, didn't God create everybody? Yeah, yeah. Let me say this. Let's go in the New Testament. Let's get Romans, and we're gonna see. Yeah, the Most High did create everybody. But this is that no mercy. Beat beat the people of the Most High to pieces. And this is not just a physical thing. This is even on a spiritual level. When you tear somebody down internally, they mental you destroy them like that, everything else just crumbles with them. They can't function. That oppression put on us couldn't function, man. You even had I want to say this was like in the early 1900s after the chains came off. Around that period of time, probably right around the time Black Wall Street was being established. Um, a lot of time our people still had like this the post-traumatic stress disorder. It was just a great fear, like, oh, like I don't know what's gonna happen. And then later they came in with the black codes. I don't know if y'all know about the black codes, and then Jim Crow laws. You
Mhm.
know, they have all that stuff coming right behind. They just completely continue tormenting us. So it's like the chains came off, but then now we got different elements to deal with. Still beating us to pieces, right? And the other part says, and grind the faces of the poor. You know, we didn't have anything, so still, still dogging us and tormenting us.
Still whipping our backs.
Yeah, still destroying us, taking
Acting
advantage.
like doing so.
Okay. Exactly. Assault to injury. I'm already down.
Mhm.
There's nothing else left you can do to me, but you still step on me. You still spit on me. Ain't no way in hell your apology is gonna be accepted. And like the scriptures say, there is no repentance for Esau. None. It don't exist. It don't exist at all. And a lot of us might, we might be thrown, like it says, cast in prisons and beheaded. But guess what? The reward after that is going to be so beautiful. I mean, beautiful. Like Christ said, like YaHaWah said, you can't put your best throw it on the kingdom of heaven. It's going to be worth every lash they throw at you, every bit of it.
Mhm.
But for them, hey, let let, let it come down to them. They're going to wish. They're going to be begging, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them going to beg. But just as they couldn't show no mercy to us, they ain't gonna get no mercy at all. It's like you brought it like Rob. Um, I got one more verse, and I'm pretty sure as we go, as we comb through the scriptures, it's more gonna come out. It's Jeremiah 30. Let's jump to Jeremiah 30. This is another cold cut. I'm not sure exactly what verse it is. I think it's verse 16. Um, it might be 16. Is it 16? Con, it's
Mhm.
16. Hey, and I could start up a little early, but I just want to get to this point right here. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And one day I was at camp, and after it was a brother bringing this verse out, and the sister walked up. She was like, does what does everything else say before this? Because she's hoping and praying that it's a nice thing for other nations in here. So he was like, okay, we can go ahead, we can read from verse 1 all the way to verse 16.
Damn. I
And
couldn't do it.
yeah, he said we could do that. He said normally we don't do that, but just it would just for like the whole just a practical thing, just to show people that the Bible is not going to twist and turn the way you want it to. It's always going to come to the point the Most High and the conclusion the Most High wants it to be. If at the end of the day Jeremiah's given a prophecy of Israel being put back in order after serving the punishment, the judgment that fell on us, and what's going to happen to our captors, our enemies, it's going to come there. So even if you see verses up where it talks about the bad and cruel things happening to us, okay, yeah, but check this out. We're gonna come up out of this stage. That's the focus that we try to get our people to stay focused on. Yes, we are in a state of suffering, and it's rightfully so. It's righteous that the Most High is doing what He's doing us. There's nothing wrong about that. Our ancestors went off, and a lot of us went off because we were without the word of the Most High. For some time, we weren't even allowed to read in this country. Our people were being oppressed and reading something simple as reading something. That's how dangerous they looked at us. Hey, if we gain any wisdom and knowledge, especially if we get in that Bible and we discover something, you have a lot of Nat Turners out here. You
Yep.
know, it's going to change something, but it has to change, man. I'm gonna read verse 16 real quick. West Book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, right? This is the grand finale, the next line after it says all thy adversaries. So everybody against us. It says every one of them, right? This don't have nothing to do with being Christian, non-Christian, you know, our people being in Islam or Buddhism or anything. No, has nothing to do with it. This is purely nationality, right? Scriptures don't deal with all of that, the different races and all of that stuff like that. It's an issue of nation and your tribe. That's how the scriptures break it down. And we know all of the other nations, regardless of how they want to label themselves and try to fit in, to be cool and all of that stuff. You know, if your father is not of the nation of YaHaWah, then this don't apply to you in a good way. You'll be on the other side of the stick. Not the one with the hand on it, but the one receiving the ass whooping. Right? It says, and all thy adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right? And the Most High is fair. We messed up. The Most High gave every nation a chance to rule and do their thing. Every last one of them. That's fair. And it's coming time to put this earth back in order. Is what the Most High wanted to be in originally. That was his original plan. So it has to come back the way the Most High says. And you can't do that if you're still allowing other people to be a part of something that don't pertain to them. How would that look? We going in the kingdom, holding hand in hand with Esau and the other nations that done all this hell, put us through all this hell, beat us to pieces. You know, all of these abominations they commit against us, and then they get us to do it because they know we don't know no better. A lot of us don't know no better. You know, it's a few times I had conversations with a brother or sister, and they might have like a white friend or a Chinese friend or something like that, and the friend would come over there and sway them not to listen to what I'm telling them. Oh, you don't want to hear that nonsense. He's going to spew some rhetoric about the Bible being for black people and God is black and Christ is black and who cares? And they'd be like, who cares? Like, how is that important? And I would just look at him like, do you read the Bible? Yeah, I read the Bible. I'm a Christian. Yeah, okay. So you claim to be a Christian, you claim to read the Bible, but you're saying who cares that the Bible speaks about the people of the Most High being, people of color? And I'm like, maybe if people of color, if Negroes and the natives and like I said, the Hispanic brothers and sisters, maybe we would be hopeful towards something if we felt like or we knew something was in favor of us. Somebody loved and cared about us. and maybe we think highly of ourselves. We would think a little different. We would look at one of another in a different light. We wouldn't look to shoot and kill our brothers because we all think we're worthless. Because that's what we being shown. We're worthless. We're nothing. And to find out we're people of the Most High Yahweh, don't you think that'll be a true upliftment to a nation of people that was told, you know, we're low, we're below everything. And the crazy thing is, this kingdom wouldn't even be running the way it is if it wasn't for our people. It wouldn't, it couldn't run like that. You know, you can't put a bunch of these other nations to do the labor and the work that we do. They wouldn't last, and they don't last. A lot of time they manage the supervisors on these different job sites. You know, they giving the orders. They're not out there grinding in the mud with you. They ain't doing none of that. They got a clipboard with some paper, pushing a pen, giving orders. You know,
Mhm.
they can't do what we can do, man. And this is not because just because, oh, you know, I work out or do the thing. It's on a spiritual level, and I don't mean no spiritual is no wicked sorcery, no witchcraft, no evil stuff like that. I mean spiritual as far as something so above the mind state of these other nations. They can't comprehend, not even a fragment of it. You know, because we have other nations of people that are people of color that don't pertain to the nation of Israel, and they don't even do what we do. Just like they say, oh, Muhammad Ali was great because he was a Muslim. Where is the Muslim in his mud hut in this cave? Where's this the sand nigga that speaks like Muhammad Ali, moves like Muhammad Ali? You know, our people actually make Islam look like it's great. We make these other nations coaches look like they're good. You know, put put um put some of these and I ain't talking about just any rapper, but some of these good rappers on some Oriental music. You know, it's a brother. He got a song. He talking about wings and fried rice, man, and it's like on some type of Oriental Asian type instrumental. I mean, the brother crushed the song. I mean, hey, no other nation can do it. You do it like us. And you have people that rap, you know, of other nations and stuff like that. And so even some of the music might be good and all that, but when you look at the level that we do it, it's there's nobody it compares to us, and they gotta learn it and get it from us. They gotta steal it from us. You know, like what they call what's that term? Culture appreciation, appropriation, or something like that.
Appropriation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Culture vulture.
culture vultures. Yeah, kind of. It has to be done in that manner. You know, like it was a brother. He had this on his Facebook page some years ago. He had a image that showed if Tupac was a white man. I think that the headline was like if this kingdom goes on another 100 years, they'll be showing white people white images of Tupac and talking about how great of an artist he was and what he did and everything, and they would show the light that he wasn't a so-called black man. They'll change his whole nationality. You know, that remind me of that movie Shaka Zulu, where he asked the white guy. I think he said like 50 years from now, people ask, whose land is this? What would you say? And the white dude was kind of like stuck, like he didn't know how to answer that question. He's just like, like you got me, like I don't want to show that I'm a wicked evil devil and say something else, but you know, he said, man, I like you. You just kind of try to play it off, you know. But as the scriptures say, man, every one of them they got to go into captivity. We did it, you know. Our people did it, and we still experience a lot of that trauma passed down. You know, it's hard for us to really maintain the way that we should be able to, unless of course you sell your soul out here, and that's definitely not worth it. You know, I don't want to be no millionaire that damn bad. You know, and if you get money like that, you definitely doing something you shouldn't be doing. You know, you giving up something, you sacrificing something to be a part of this kingdom. Ain't worth it. You know, why not have your own? You know, have your own kingdom. Don't you know you don't we shouldn't be people that aspire to be great in this kingdom. You know, we're gonna be great here. We need to be great amongst ourselves. and bringing this word out and going through the scriptures and reasoning with our people in the word of the Most High, bringing them back to the light, teaching them the law, statutes, and commandment, having them in the line to be prepared to make the kingdom of heaven. That's the greatness that we should be accomplishing, and we should all be like proud of ourselves for the Most High opening our eyes. You know, that's the greatest gift I've ever had in my life was my eyes being open. You know, at one point they weren't. At one point I would see people on the corners teaching, and though I didn't laugh at them, I was just kind of puzzled, like, what they talking about? You know, and I was one of those hecklers, like, oh, I don't even think y'all know what y'all saying, but all right, well, if you think you know something, and now realizing I was a part of the same nonsense garbage of our people that down talk each other. But I was young and dumb. I was probably like 15, 16 years. I was young and dumb. I didn't know no better. You know, got a little older, and it started to make sense to me. Then it was introduced to me, the truth, and it just took off from there. It's like, yo, the whole time I've been really trying to figure out what are we supposed to do to please the Most High. And when it was presented to me, I mean, my eyes welled up with tears, man. I was tears of joy, of course, but I couldn't even hold it back. I was just like, it's nice to know that I mean something, and not just anybody, to the Most High YaHaWah, to the creative of the universe, heaven and earth, everything. I mean something to him. What? I thought I was just a good old for nothing nigga that's gonna end up in prison, dead, or strung out on drugs. You know, baby mamas here and there, children all over the place, no order, strung out, ended down at a young age, been in some gang, tatted up, killing my brothers and sisters and all of that stuff. You know, because that's what's portrayed by us, and they use us to push that image to ourselves. That's what this kingdom does, and they got to keep it fresh. So they got to come up with new ways to package it. 10 years ago it was the same thing. 10 years before that it was the same thing. They just got to keep putting that thing in a different box, put a different color bow on it, make them think it's something different. You know, last time we gave you cookies, this time we're gonna feed you brownies. Next time we're gonna make s'mores. You know, we gave you a chicken. Next time we'll give you some turkey wings. You know, and a lot of time we don't realize it's the same garbage we fall into all the time. The same thing. Nothing different. Nothing changed. They always get our hopes up with our leaders. We get riled up. Our leaders come out and they make us think something's gonna be different for us, and it's never the same. It's because this kingdom is not for us to be a part of. This is not our time to rule and to be on top. And I'm not saying we can't, have decent lives here. Of course, yeah, we can make a decent lives for ourselves, yeah. But to the level that you see a lot of our brothers and sisters doing it, to the musicians, to the athletes, to the actors, they're giving up something, they sacrificing something to be in those positions, you know. And it's so dark. If you ever just look up research how dark Hollywood really is, man. That's a dark place, you know. As bright as many bright lights as if they might shine, but it's a truly a dark place. It's hell. The music industry, that's another dark place. Extremely dark.
Diddyville.
Yeah. Say that again, Rob.
They're gonna end up in Diddyville.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And that brother, I say this because I've been, knowing some things about the industry for some time now. Diddy was set up to be a fall guy, just to put up a smoke screen to make you pay attention to it. And I'm not saying what he did is not really. He really into that stuff. Yeah, he got into it, but they set him up so now he's a distraction to our people. You know, a great distraction. While they implementing the next plan, all they're gonna do is put the next Negro in this place. More parties and more living it up and drugs and everything gonna continue while they out there putting him on blast as if they didn't know. They been knew he was like that, man. Nothing new with that,
Yeah,
you know.
somebody got him started.
Yeah, They don't just put our people in positions like that just to do it, man. It's for a purpose. I remember it's a brother. I think he used to work with No Limit. He was talking about the mansion parties. When you get your record deal, you can sign to Hollywood, get that 5, 10 year contract, however they set it up for you. You got to go get poked in your rear. No, they got to go ahead and record you. And if you say something, you try to talk about it. Hey, your family's head is on the line, your freedom's on the line. You know, all they gotta do is hit a button, empty your bank account. So that really don't make sense to be so crazy, money crazy. You know, I can do a lot with a little, and to have so much of that, just to sacrifice my soul, just to give myself over to wickedness for some money that really don't even mean nothing. Them dollars don't really mean nothing. It's only in play because the people that are in power are telling you, hey, they got the gun in your head. Hey, you accept this or else. But even that's gonna come to an end, man. That's gonna change. This whole system is gonna turn upside down. It's gonna be so bad. It's just gonna be like, hey, people gonna start killing themselves, you know. And if our people ain't with the Lord, the Most High Yahweh, when them times come, they gonna perish too. They ain't gonna make it. Ain't gonna be no mercy for them. Ain't gonna be nothing. All those of our people that want to make mockery, which I don't get. How you making mockery of yourself? You know, you look at being in this truth and in this walk as it's a bad thing. If it's terrible, like, hey, my I think these brothers they clowns and this and that. And like a lot of our people, we know the history of slavery, getting beat, hung, lynched, and stuff like that, castrated. But it's like now it's like, hey, that's different. No, we ain't in the change no more. It's different. Everything is new. Nah. They still got that wool over their eyes. They still living in darkness. They just don't get it, man. It's sad, but I wish all of our people, could just come together and just get back in His Word, and we live the way the Most High intended to. But let's say the Most High, it's not gonna happen that way. 2/3 of us got to be put to death and cut off. You know, but the goal is to see that our adversaries go into captivity. You know, they get paid back for what they done to us. All of them. Every nation has had a hand in it. Ain't not one nation on this planet that didn't have a hand in it. You know, nobody was gung ho to come from no other country to help us at all. Nobody. China ain't come over here. Hey, let those Negroes go. Don't be treating them people like that. They wasn't doing that. If they see there's an opportunity to, hey, it's a big time opportunity for us to have a come up real quick. But that's it. The Most High, it's gonna come to an end. It might seem like it's taking too long, and the scriptures tell us don't get weary, don't get tired of just paraphrase, don't get tired of waiting for deliverance, man. Because that's gonna be the moment in the time. As soon as you give up, that's when that sky gonna crack on you. You just throwing the towel. Oh, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years, 40 years. You know, I'm tired. This ain't gonna never happen. Okay, okay. All things go in the Most High's time. Most High can come at a time when you hit 101 years old and you on your last breath out of nowhere. Even if you do pass, the Most High can restore that life to you, bring you back, as we know what's gonna happen when that sky crack. But not to rant on, but it's a touchy subject when you think about these things that's been done to us by everybody, and how our own people really don't care. It's like, come on, man, like you don't care. Oh, that was 400, 500 years ago, and you don't care. You don't care that everybody profit off of your pain and suffering, even to this day. I don't know if y'all remember that the Tuskegee Airman experiment. I think they was giving them syphilis or something, and they wouldn't even treat them. They would just watch them suffer to see how quick their bodies deteriorated. The pain and agony they went through. That's some mad scientist crazy stuff, man. Real crazy.